it is seriously time for a life update. You would be surprised how many people forget this or don't realize this when they're thinking about moving or traveling somewhere based on their astrocartography. And this is something that I've learned from experience through trial and error and actually living out and traveling around the world to my different astrocartography lines. This is what I've learned, and it's time you know this too. Let's get started. Hello from Amsterdam.
From Brooklyn, New York.
From beautiful Ubud, Bali.
From San Diego.
I am in Iceland right now.
Shanghai.
I'm in Paris at the moment. I am here on my Jupiter descendant line in Tallinn, Estonia. Hello from Biarritz in France. Hey guys, it's me Helena from helenawoods.com, where we talk all about astrocartography, relocation astrology, and whatever else I want to talk about. If you're new around here, it is time that you get into astrocartography because it is the most incredible tool that you can use to find the most magical, most wonderful places in the world that best support you for different areas of your life. I, for example, am from San Diego, California, born and raised, and I moved to France in 2018, where I have my home line here in France. And it's true, I feel so connected to the land, to the earth, to this place. Like, I feel very emotionally connected to France. And astrocartography, you can learn how to do this for free. Check out my free cheat sheet down below and my free astrocartography guide so you don't make any of the same mistakes that a lot of people make when they're first reading their map. There's a lot of newbies to astrocartography, as astrocartography is so up and coming, and I've been predicting this for years. That's why I started making videos on this topic years ago, because I knew it was going to be the biggest thing on the freaking face of the earth, and it is. More and more people want to move, relocate, and find their places in the world that best support them. So if you want to get my free knowledge, information, all of my free content, and when you get that free cheat sheet, stay tuned, because I'm going to be sending you some emails on my astrocartography newsletter, giving you a ton of valuable tips, resources, and advice, and even stories as I travel the world full-time going to all my astrocartography lines. I'm so excited for you to explore this incredible journey of locational astrology. Now let's get into today's video. It has been a minute. I have been traveling the world full-time since my Saturn return started last year in March of 23, and we've got to catch up on some things, because if you don't know, my husband is an English teacher, so he travels, so every year he gets a new contract from a new university for a new English teaching position. And my husband shares all of his story and tips on how you too can move to France and teach English. It's one of the easiest ways to move abroad to France if you're an American looking to relocate. But he teaches all about this on his YouTube channel, Move to France and Teach English. You can also find his blog down below, included in the description, a link to his blog, movetofranceandteachenglish.com. But my husband and I have been moving every year since 2018. We moved to France in 2018, and we've been moving constantly. We've lived in Strasbourg, we've lived in Corsica, we've lived in different sections of Corsica, the island in the south of France. We've lived in Biarritz, we've lived in Metz, and then my husband recently, by the way, I predicted this. I predicted that he would get a ton of job offers during a specific week in June. And he wasn't getting any job offers or anything. And then all at the last minute, all of these job offers came through during that week that I predicted he would get a ton of offers. He got a job offer in Amiens, which is a university in Amiens in the northern France area. And originally my husband and I took it. We took that job opportunity because we both have our best astrocartography lines and parents in that area. In Lille and Amiens, my husband has a Sun Midheaven line, an astrocartography Sun MC line. And that's where his career is just so strong. Great for promotion, success, achievement, recognition for the work that you're doing, and just shining in your career and contributions. And so we took that job because I too have my best parents up there. And if you don't know what parents are, definitely check up this video. Check out my recent video on parents. Very important to look that up. Latitude lines are extremely make it or break it when it comes to astrocartography. I have my moon Jupiter and my moon Venus parents up in that latitude of Leo. And let me tell you, we were there recently, a week ago. We spent a week in Leo. Oh, the confidence, the happiness, the feel-good energy, the nothing can get me down, I can do anything kind of vibe that I was in. It was so hopeful, faithful, trusting, and magical. It felt like Disney princess energy. The moon Jupiter parent, not to be missed, not to be missed. The moon Jupiter, do not miss that latitude crossing. If you see that somewhere on your astrocartography map, gotta check it out. Go for a visit sometime. But I was literally feeling incredible the entire time that I was in Leo. I also spent a little too much money because I was on my moon Venus parent, and it's definitely a theme of overindulgence or overspending when you're on that latitude line, and that is definitely the case and something that happened to me when I was in Leo, but I digress. But I felt so good. My husband felt so good. We both felt incredible. But here's the thing that a lot of people forget. The logistics, the practicality. Put astrology aside for just a second. Put astrocartography aside for just a second. Is that place where you have those great lines even a place that you would want to live? Lille, the city of Lille in France, was a place that I didn't care for. I didn't find it to be interesting or beautiful by any means. I've been all over France, by the way. I've traveled all over France these last 6 years, and both my husband and I thought that Lille was perhaps one of the least pretty cities in France, one of the least interesting cities in France. Just my own personal opinion. Everyone has their own opinion, but I found the city to be quite dirty, just trash everywhere. It was one of the most graffiti-filled, just like trash-ridden streets, trash-ridden cities I've ever seen in all of France. And also, there just wasn't a lot of variety. I personally love parks and greenery and recreational activities. I don't like moving to places where all there is to do is shopping and eating at restaurants. It's just not personally my vibe. I like going out into nature. If you're thinking about moving somewhere and your astrocartography looks great, your relocation chart looks great, check out this video if you don't, and check out this video if you don't know what a relocated chart is. Very, very important to look at that. But let's say everything looks great astrology-wise. Have you visited the place? Do you appreciate the culture there? Is it a culture that you vibe with? Do people in that area, do they have personalities, right? People in different regions of a country, there's different temperaments. The south of France is so different from the north of France in terms of personality and like people talking and everything. Like it's just different vibes. And also weather, geography, politics. These are such important considerations that I think a lot of people forget when they're thinking about astrocartography. I've had clients who I've shared specific areas that are going to be great for them astrologically, but then they go there and they don't really like the weather, or they don't really like the politics there. That's a separate thing, and that needs to be considered. That needs to be something that's really important when you're thinking about where to live. If you're thinking about just traveling somewhere, go travel, go check out those lines, go check out that energy. But to live there for a year longer, this is where we have to take into consideration multiple things. Lille, France is one of the most rainy, cloudy places in France. The winters are long, and it can be very depressing for people if you like sunshine. So the places where I have the best astrocartography in France, Lille and Strasbourg, these are places where 6 months of the year it is gray skies and it is depressing. The weather is depressing. And I am someone that likes sun. I'm from San Diego, California. I like beach, I like sun. I like that kind of environment. I'm used to that. That feels really, I like that vibe, right? But a lot of people forget that. And I know it's such a basic thing, but people forget, oh yeah, those other things matter. It's kind of like timing too. Like let's say you enter like a major peak of your life in your career using zodiacal releasing, which you can learn about in my Trust Your Timeline course. You can join down below in the description, check that link out. I have a live course where I teach on this. But let's say you're in a major peak of your life in your career or your overall life, right? It doesn't mean that when you wake up that first day, everything's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be a peak. That's not how astrology works. you got to settle into a timeline. You got to settle into a peak period, a chapter of your life for a year, right? I know that for me, for instance, when I entered a major peak of my life and career, I started it and I had ideas for like new projects I was working on and everything in the beginning of that time frame, but it didn't get going. Like the big success and the big things that happened to me didn't get going in that peak period of those 2 years until like 3 or 4 months in. So that's what I mean by, so there's a lot of things to consider. And when it comes to location and place, we have to ask ourselves these questions. Is this a place I would even want to live? Regardless of the astrocartography, maybe that's just a vacation place. Maybe that's a place that I go to launch my business. Maybe that's a place that I go to activate and start up something and initiate something cool in my life. But to live there, that's where we have to ask ourselves these questions. Should I live? The weather, the politics, the geography, the people. One of my favorite places in the world is Old Town Alexandria, Virginia, in the US. I lived there for a year. It's one of my favorite cities in the whole world. Small, cute little town. It's adorable. The people are pretentious and entitled and arrogant AF. I will never live there because the people in that area are just like, I lived there for a year. I was a server. I was working retail. I was in the community. I was really enmeshed in the community. And people were just really rich and really snobby and really rude to like people that were serving them. And I learned that I don't want to live in places like that where people are kind of jerks. Now I should make a caveat. This does not mean that everyone in Old Town Alexandria, Virginia is a jerk or snobby or arrogant or entitled. Not at all. I've met some lovely, lovely people in that area. But I'm just saying overall, the vibe was rich, pretentious, and just rude. I have clients that personally work with me doing readings that work in politics in DC. So this does not mean that everyone's like this. I have tons of amazing clients that are from that area and are not jerks. But just saying overall, there is a pretentiousness about that area. I would never want to move back there because of that, for that alone. If that was not a factor, I would move back to Alexandria, Virginia because I love it so much. But also the relocated chart does not have what I'm looking to harness in my life at this present time. So I digress. So you may be wondering what's going on now. Where am I living now? Because things have kind of changed. We were going to move to Lille because the job is in Amiens, and that's very close to Lille, and the astrocartography was best for Lille, and so we decided we were going to move to Lille. Completely changed. Nothing to do with astrocartography, nothing to do with the astrology. It's the place, it's the landscape, it's the way the city is laid out. We didn't vibe with it at all. There's just not much to do there, and the weather is crap. So we're not living in Lille anymore, so you may be wondering, well, Helena, where are you living now? Where are you settling? Because don't you want to like find a place to live? Yeah, I do. I'm definitely feeling kind of, I'm starting to get sick of traveling full time. It's been, almost a year and a half of constant, because yeah, it's been a year and a half of constant travel. And Saturn transiting through my 5th, ruling my 4th and my 3rd, it's been a lot of travel, but I'm seeking home and I'm really wanting to like settle down and find a home and buy myself a couch. Like there's nothing more that I want right now than to buy myself a nice headboard and a nice like mattress and just call home somewhere and buy my own furniture for the first time since 2018. I haven't had my own furniture since 2018. So yeah, I'm definitely looking for this, but here's what's happening. Drum roll, please. Drum roll, please. We have decided to move to Versailles. Versailles, France, right outside of Paris, on the RER C train. Yeah, we're moving to Paris. There's a lot of reasons we're moving to Paris, and Alex and I are gonna have to spend half of the week doing long distance every week because he does work in Amiens, which is, an hour and a half away. Oh, I just spotted a kitty. The whole plan was Lille. And we were so excited for it because the astrocartography just looked great. And we both felt fantastic there. But it just didn't, it was the options that the city provided. That wasn't what we were looking for in terms of what the city offered. We're moving to Versailles. Right outside of Paris. I am so excited because I've been wanting to have my own Helena in Paris moment for years. I've been wanting to make content on like life in Paris for years. If you didn't watch my previous vlogs on like living in Paris, check out my vlogs here on my main channel, Helena Woods. If you're not subscribed over there, definitely go subscribe to my main channel where I talk all about my more personal things. I'm just really excited for this. I'm really excited for this time in Alex and my life. You know, he's in a peak in his career and his diagonal racing, his transits, him living so close to his Sun MC line, but also me living in a better place in France, astrocartography wise, but also just all the logistics. You know, we have friends here in Versailles and in Paris. We have, you know, there are things we can do. Like, I want to start making more content about living in Paris, and there's something about living close to a major cultural, historical city that inspires you. And I want to live in a place where there's such a variety of different things, not just shopping and restaurants like Lille provided, of course, but also other things like culture and art and exhibitions and beautiful parks and the beautiful river of the Seine. That's something that Lille didn't have, was a river or a lot of greenery, green areas. I need to be close to water, whether it's a river or a lake or an ocean, and being in Lille and not having any access to water, it was hard. We've been there a week and I just knew it wasn't our place. And that's the thing about astrocartography. When you get off your train, your plane, and you step foot, you will feel the vibe, and you will feel that energy of whatever those parans are and those astrocartography lines are. However, is it a place that you would even want to live? And that's something that I really had to reconcile. This is something that so many of my private astrocartography clients, you know, wonder about, is what about all the other logistics aside from the astrocartography? And those things are important and those things matter. And so as we're getting ready to, and as we're here in Versailles, we're getting ready, we're looking at apartments now, we're looking for our place now. So I'm so excited. I'm so excited to be moving here. I visit here every year. I've always loved Versailles, I've always loved Paris, but I could never imagine myself living in the city center of Paris. I've always wanted to live somewhere more green, more quiet, more clean, and Versailles is definitely that. Alex and I are both really excited, and every time I'm here I'm just so freaking inspired to get on camera and to share the journey and to write and to do all the things. There's something about the energy here, and so get ready for new vlogs, new astrocartography content, and definitely check out my main channel, Helena Woods. I'll include a link up here so that you can follow me on my journey of moving to Paris, so moving to Versailles, the outskirts of Paris, finding a home, and continuing my creative journey of sharing the astrology and sharing how to connect with your cosmic compass. I'll see you in the next vlog. Have a magical day and happy travels. All right, Alex is begging for me to come back. I'm coming, honey, I'm coming. I should say though, honey, people are gonna wanna know what your opinion is on moving to Versailles, because I just talked to them why I love Versailles and why I'm so excited to move here, but what are your thoughts?
Oh yeah, you told them all that?
Yeah, I updated them in a life chat.
Well, I'm not excited about the commute and about being away from you for a while during the week, as I live in Amiens.
This is true.
But I'm excited to like go to Versailles on a regular basis, to have an RER just to go into Paris on the weekends.
And we'll be close to Disneyland.
See friends, see where things are happening. Like, we can go to the Eiffel Tower and like
Date
museums,
night.
all kinds of things that's all in Paris, you know?
And you've always wanted to live in Paris.
Yeah.
And you lived here for years, honey.
Yeah, well, in the suburbs, actually.
My husband, Alex, he lived here from ages 6 to 13. I think 6 to 13.
5 to 11, I think.
5 to 11. So it's kind of like coming home, is what he's described it, right?
Yeah, but Versailles, I'm not as familiar. It's a much nicer neighborhood.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can find a
And it feels
place.
cleaner. Like Versailles feels so clean. Have you noticed that, honey?
It feels very clean, yeah.
The streets are beautiful. No trash and like paper towel wads everywhere and graffiti and poop.
Well, it just wasn't for us. And this feels more familiar because we know Versailles, we know the surrounding suburbs, and we know Paris, and so it's just a lot easier to live here. And you know, I just commute when I need to, and that way I get to live in Amiens and Paris, both. It's kind of cool.
All right, well, now you've heard his opinion. Now you know it's not just me deciding this, it's also him.
Versailles